All right. This is the second attempt at doing this. So, I have done a few games going mainly knife only. I actually did several because, I'm trying to get dark matter for the first time. And so that includes completing the melee challenges. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about like part of the problem with close range builds in Cold War and what makes close range so difficult in Cold War in an offensive role, right? Um Now, here's my Nuketown map. Listen, bro. I wanted to give all of them like color codes, and I really didn't want to make one that people were going to call the piss map, but I mean, it's just the correct color, so please just, you know, like come on, be respectful, you know. Don't call it that. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. I have three games here. There were a number of games I did much better. There were some games that I had like a 5 KD, like 35 kills or something going knife only. And it's like that's not really fun to talk about because, you know, like it's not really fun to talk about succeeding knife only, mainly knife only, because the enemy team is clueless and you just get a bunch of free kills, right? Now, it's not entirely knife only. A few times I get impatient and shoot someone or throw a C4, but like 80 to 90% of the time is knife only. Um, and I figured Nuketown would be a good starting point for this. So you'll see that I am using a perk greed class. Now I do have a lawbreaker class. I was using a lawbreaker class at first, which was this class right here, the assassin class. And the reason I'm not doing that is because I'm using smoke grenades, and smoke grenades are important, right? Because it's one of your only tools to kind of stay and get close to people. It's one of your only valuable tools. If I did assassin, I would be doing knife and psi for movement, and then like ghost, cold blooded ninja, probably, maybe spycraft. But like honestly, I'm using perk greed literally just for smoke grenade, and it's like since I'm mainly using the knife anyway, I could do perk greed, knife, psi, and then ghost ninja, quartermaster, right? Because quartermaster is what I'm using it for. But it's like if I'm already doing two yellow and one blue, I might as well go perk greed, get forward intel for some kind of UAV hacks on their spawn, engineer so I can see when they have field mics going, and yeah. So and it sucks too because I really like the fancy animation of your character pulling out the knife right when you respawn, but it is what it is. I'm going to do more lawbreaker knife stuff once I complete. Oh, the other thing is, and the other reason I'm using smoke is because I'm trying to get dark matter, and you have to get kills while enemies are blinded or smoke screened, which is a bit obnoxious. And I thought smoke grenades were the play at first. Turns out they're not. Stun grenades are just far better for that, but that's partially why I'm doing it too. So after I'm done with dark matter, I'll probably do some more like lawbreaker knife only, where I go, ghost to ninja, spycraft probably, um, and then go knife and psi. There's a purity to going melee only. There's something pure and satisfying about it. You don't have all these complex mechanisms. You can see I immediately smoke here. I don't remember exactly what I was doing here. I'm glad for my teammates smoke, right? So smoke is going to be a topic of discussion here. And smoke is interesting. See, smoke worked differently when the game first launched. This is so slow. This player is kind of annoying because it's a bit slow. Okay, I can hit space. So let's talk about smoke. Can I go frame by frame? No. I might be able to. I don't know the option, right? So, all right. So smoke in Call of Duty has traditionally been just a bunch of JPEGs, right? What it is, there's a bunch of smoke JPEGs that like pop up when you pop a smoke grenade, right? and they just kind of they rotate like Doom, like Doom sprites. They rotate around as you rotate around them, so that they're always facing you, and it can look kind of cheap once you realize that illusion, right? But smoke has worked differently in different Call of Duty games. Modern Warfare 2019 had a really interesting smoke where it created like a ring, and you could go in the middle of the smoke, right? Like Modern Warfare 2019 smoke was like, it created like a ring like this, and then you could go in the center where there was no smoke. So what that allowed you to do is you could smoke an area and run in and then run out the other side, and you would be guaranteed, because one of the main problems with smoke grenades in Call of Duty has often been, if someone is in the middle of a smoke grenade, you can still kind of see them, and that can limit their usefulness. So Modern Warfare 2019 had this really weird system where you created like a ring and you could run through, and you would be completely blocked off as long as you didn't go out the side. So one thing that Cold War did, so originally Cold War was just the normal JPEG smokes, right? Where it was just the JPEGs that pop up where you smoked an area. However, during Cold War's life cycle, they added this filter that you can see right now, where you when you're inside the area of a smoke grenade, there's like a gray filter over your screen at like 50 to 70% opacity or something, right? And that makes smoke far more useful. In fact, they don't the area of being in a smoke that they need to be in is actually pretty vague, right? If someone is on hijacked, for example, on hijacked, if someone is like sitting at one of the top rooms, you can smoke underneath if you put it on a raised position. Like if they're in the one with the bank vault or the vault, you can throw a smoke grenade on the table downstairs, and they will be in range of the smoke screen vision effect, even though the smoke doesn't typically reach them, right? So this effect has its own value. And one thing you can see here, right, which can come up, is consider what exactly is visible here, right? Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Like, if you consider what exactly is visible here, you can see that the areas that are brightly lit up are still pretty visible. It's harder to see someone, and it may delay your reaction. If they're like around this area, if someone is around like this area, right? I might struggle to pick them out quickly. It might be hard to see them quickly, and I might die because of that, right? But you can still mostly see the lit up areas. What you can't see is inside this like dark area here, right? You can see almost nothing inside this dark area, right? And this is one of the advantages of smoke grenades, is if you smoke an area and then you stay in a darker area and don't move, and the enemy runs through the smoke, they can have trouble seeing you. Especially, like, I'm kind of outside of the smoke JPEG part, so that helps a lot for being able to see. If they were still in the smoke JPEG area, it would be even harder to see in these shadowy areas. And honestly, there's other aspects to smoke too that work like this. Like, for example, with thermals, smokes and thermals are actually really complicated in this game, because if you smoke an area, like if someone was using a thermal and I was in the middle of a smoke here and they wouldn't be able to see me without a thermal, and I had cold-blooded on and they looked at me through the thermal, they might still be able to see me because I'm in the sunlight. I am more lit up on thermal even with cold-blooded on. So with smoke grenades, you really have to be cognizant of light and shadow when you use them. It's very important, right? So that will come up since I'm using smoke grenades so much. For the moment, though, like, I'm just using it to get around. I'm waiting to see if someone runs through in the smoke. But, this guy's chasing me. Oh, and you see, he checked there. Like I was just saying, where he struggled to, like, you struggle to see there. The area I was literally just talking about is where he instinctively shoots just in case. Although he didn't really see much anyway, but yeah. But you will quickly notice a problem. This is one of the games I picked where I didn't do amazingly, right? This was one of my earlier games. And that comes down to the fact that in spite of being a small map, Nuketown actually can be quite defensive, and it can represent the issues of Cold War, right? Which is like, where do I go? Like, I'm already having trouble with it. Like, where the hell do I go? Smoking that area was kind of a mistake on my part because I can't do anything, right? Like, I don't even know why I smoked over here and then didn't do anything with it because I should have gone over there. I guess just because I was afraid that, like, my team was already there. You know, you can see my team in the top left is already looking down that lane, so they're liable to start a fight, right? But the problem is, like, that lane is pretty much completely off limits to me. This lane is... What brush should I use? Should I use a bigger brush like this? Maybe a little bit too big. Way too small. Holy cow. Dude. Oh, wait. Actually, this watercolor brush runs out of paint. Huh. Okay, well... I guess calligraphy pen is the best, really. I don't know. It gets pretty thin at times. I wish there was a better brush. I'm still figuring this out. See, this runs out of paint, too. Why does it have to be so fancy, man? Crayon? You guys want to see it in crayon? Oh, wait. Is that it? Is that size on the side here? Oh. I might just be stupid. Okay, there we go. Right. So this lane is pretty much entirely off limits to me because it's just a long-range lane. It's just made for people to snipe each other down, right? Like, you have the garage here where people like to snipe, you know? It's really, like, not a good lane to go down. And then when you have the front door here, like, here's the front door where I am sitting and waiting because, like, it's not a good look either. Like, if they're already fighting down this lane, then they can easily, like, if there's someone standing here, they can just see the doorway, right? Or if someone is here around the truck or inside the truck, like, everyone, like, the problem with Nuketown, and I love Nuketown. Nuketown's a good map, but what makes it difficult as aggressive play sometimes is that you have a lot of areas where people just sit and hold the angle, and the other team has to approach from these crazy bottlenecks, right? So like especially, like, one thing you'll notice is I am on the vanguard of my team, right? Like, I am at the forefront. Like, this is me here. This is me here. I am at the forefront of my team. I am leading the phalanx, which means if I know my team is not distracting the enemy whatsoever right now. They are doing nothing to distract the enemy. These guys are doing something, and this guy might start a fight with one person, right? But they're really not doing much. So if I ran out, I would have the team's almost undivided attention, right? So it's like, okay, I'll just wait, because what else am I going to do? If I had my smoke, I could maybe try shenanigans with smoke, but I wasted it on the left side. And I'm annoyed because it's like everyone on my team just wants to sit here, and it's like, I get it. Like, that's kind of what you do on Nuketown, but, like, I can't do anything with that. Now he's just drawing attention, and someone might just grenade in here. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I remember the not pre-watched. I don't know if I remember the match or it's just that predictable. But I mean, like, if someone's just firing a Tundra in here, of course you're gonna throw a grenade in, right? In fact, based on where the teammate is, like, my teammate is like, if we say the doorway is here, right? Like, here's the doorway. My teammate is that's, you probably can't see that. Like, the doorway is here, right? my teammate... do I use blue or green for myself? I guess I'll just use the colors that are on screen, right? My teammate is here. Doing this, right? Sitting around the corner. He's looking this way, right? The person who threw the grenade, the enemy, probably is right here, right? So he sees my teammate firing from in here, and he's like, I'm just going to throw a grenade right in there because there's no reason to challenge that, right? That's probably exactly what just happened there, which is kind of the problem, is my teammate is a little bit oblivious to the consequences of his actions in that moment. He's just firing an unsilenced gun, and he's also, once again, he's also at the vanguard with me. He is at the front, so he should honestly, he should be down the other lane. He should be down this lane. That's where this sniper guy should go. Or he just needs to understand the angles of this map better, because this is not a great place for him to sit. He's watching one spot. It's not terrible, but he need, like, if you're gonna fire an unsilenced gun in this situation, you need to be ready to move and change your position because people are gonna come after you, you know? So of course here comes the grenade. I'm damaged. They start shooting at me. I go prone because I knew that weren't gonna expect it. And also you could see the guy is exactly where I predicted he was. I read the situation literally perfectly. Just either my memory is that good or it's just that intuitive, right? Smart of him to shoot through the wall there, but he made the rookie mistake of not thinking to account for the person going prone, so I got away with it. And my teammate is still firing here, and I'm like, yeah, I need to... This is not a good place to be. It's just... The problem is, if your team isn't doing much, you don't have much to work with. So this time, I don't waste my smoke. I use it in a much better spot. I go through here, right? I wait in a pretty good spot, and the reason I wait here is... The smoke is... Can you see this? No. There's no way you can see that. Pink? Can you see pink? Okay, the smoke is here, right? This is the smoke. So, and I am here, waiting right here. Is there a better color I can use? I am waiting right here. Can you see me right there? Right? If the enemy is over here, then they're not going to see me through the smoke. If the enemy is over here, then they're not going to see me because I'm behind the bus. If the enemy comes over here, I mean, I'm a little bit smaller than this arrow suggests. So they're going to have trouble seeing me because I am in the shadow of the bus here. Like you can see the shadow of the bus is like this. God, I do not have practice drawing with the mouse. The shadow of the bus is like this, right? So I am in the shadow of the bus, and like I mentioned, it's hard for someone to see me in the shadow when they're in the smoke. They'll have to step into the smoke to get anywhere near me, and I'll be hidden by the shadow to a degree, right? So that's why I choose this very particular spot, is I'm essentially hidden from anyone, no matter which direction they come from. And I just give it a second to see what happens with the enemy. I see a guy there. I'm dying. So I see a guy there. Let's just go back through this again, right? I smoke out there. A very well-placed smoke. I see a guy there, but like, there's no way I can chase after him, right? Because the enemy will, if there's enemies on the left side, they're just going to see me and shoot me down. You have to understand when the fights you can't take when you're going with a knife, when you're using knife only. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. And I feel comfortable that my team is distracting the enemy and that there's no one over here. I feel comfortable that the enemy is not here. They're more focused around here or up here. So I take a gamble and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, run in through here and see what I can do. I get stuck, which sucks, but I can hear the enemy firing a silenced LMG, so I wait here for a second to wait for them to move up. I can't go after the first guy, because once again, I'm going knife only. I'll just get shot in the back if I do that. I hear another guy coming. He runs the other way. I'm trying to figure out when to go, and I see it. So I know that there's two guys here. There's two enemies here. I see another enemy here, and there is an enemy here. So I'm like, okay, that's 4 out of 6. That's most of the team. The other team members are probably somewhere around here, or maybe one over there. So I'm like, okay, I can follow. Now that I've seen those people, I can follow. So I run around the outside, and I'm trying to figure out where to go. I decided to just go after these guys. It's easy, but, you know. Like this is the thing with, and this is kind of what's fun. Like, knife only is thrilling because you're constantly making these calculations, right? I successfully calculated that this guy over here would be too distracted to see what's going on this lane, right? And you can see that he's not looking at me at all. So I can just go in after him. Both of them aren't really looking at me. Okay, that kind of drove me insane. That was not deserved. Okay, after all that calculation. But yeah, if you're going knife only, you really have to pay attention to what your team is doing and what the enemy team is doing. You have to read it perfectly. And unfortunately, melee in Call of Duty has always been kind of janky. And rarely stuff like this does happen. Where that just misses. Like, the first one, you could argue, okay, maybe it went over his head. Maybe it went over his head, you know? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, I hit Control G and it crashed the video. All right. No, not zoo. Good. Where are we at? Okay. Okay, it does not want me to do slow motion today. Slow motion is broken apparently. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, man. Whatever. No slow motion then. Sorry. I guess I could do like the half slow motion, right? Okay, so half slow motion isn't working and full slow motion breaks it. I don't know why this is happening. Whatever. You don't need to see it, I guess. But yeah, you could argue this first one misses. But the second one, there's no way. It's melee just doesn't work. In fairness, that's like the only time I did knife only for like 2 hours. That was like the only time that happened. In fairness, it doesn't happen all the time, you know. But it does suck. It's always annoying when that happens, because it's like, that's not at all my fault. In no world is that my fault. I don't know why melee is so hard for them to program. And you can see I'm doing something similar here to what I described earlier. This is riskier. It's riskier to sit here, because if the enemy comes this way, they could see me. But usually they're looking down this lane, and my teammate's watching, so I'm assuming my teammate is going to cover that lane, right? And it's like, I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just play aggressive and see what happens. And it actually works. The guy over there, I don't know what this person is doing. Oh, they're lagging out is what they're doing. And yeah, like you have to make perfect calculations going knife only, or that happens constantly. That body falling. Yeah. He's just got a lot of explosives there, unfortunately. And you can see one thing you can do, because of what I mentioned earlier, like I mentioned it before, when someone has the smoke screen effect, it's very hard for them to see in shadow. I thought he was in this corner here. I thought he was in this corner here, right? Like this corner, you know, you got the... Oh my god, I'm so bad with the mouse, dude. I need to use my elbow more. I thought he was sitting here, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw a smoke here. Can I change color? Pink is the smoke color today, okay? Pink is the smoke color. You're just gonna have to deal with it. So I'm like, okay, I'll throw a smoke grenade here, and he'll have the smoke screen effect, and he'll have the smoke obscuring his vision. Because smoke goes through walls. So you can just count on smoke going through walls. But he had left, and now he's right there. And I'm not sure what the first explosion was. It didn't look like he had a grenade launcher. It's hard to see. I guess he had a grenade launcher and a frag out. And I spawned behind the enemy team. Cold War does not... Cold War spawns aren't as bad as Black Ops 6, but they're not amazing either. And on a small map like this, you're going to have some spawn issues. The ragdolls today are kind of funny. Yeah, like, chasing that guy would have been risky anyway. I should probably be throwing the smoke. Right now, I'm throwing the smoke right here. Like, around here. I should be throwing it here. So then I can hide my little self right here, you know? That would be the better strategy. I'm throwing it too close to the truck, because I'm trying to use the truck here. But the problem is you can't go anywhere here. That's the problem. You have no motion. You have to, like, if you're here, if this, like, once the smoke runs out, I have just suicidal death areas here, right? And then I have to challenge people. Like, people are always looking. There's going to be, like, 5 people, not 5, but there's going to be, like, 3 people looking... looking like through here, you know? So like it's very risky to go through there. And if I run past there, they're going to see me run past, and then I have this terrible death lane here where people just sit with sniper rifles, right? If I smoked here though, and I was able to sit here for a while, I can come up behind people over here. I can quickly wrap around the bus if I need to. And if I get an opening, I can make a quick run over here or in here or even around here, like to hide here, you know? So I think I have the most options if I smoke this area, and then I sit I go prone here where it will be hard for them to see me. But I'm trying things out, you know. I'm bad with Molotovs. Yeah, because see, it's like, what do I do now? And also, here we have another problem. Because Nuketown is so small, we have grenades. We have grenade spam. I miss OG MW2 grenades so much. I've never liked frags just being tossed across the map. Just an easy RCXD. Also, I didn't know you could get the assassin bonus with RCXD. That's kind of insane. That, dude, you can pull off some suicide trade strategies. Like, if some guy is rushing you with an SMG, you can just pull out the RCXD when he's in the middle of a jump, and it will be impossible for him to escape. So you could pull off some fucked up stuff with Assassin on RCXD. And once again, I'm in the same spot. Like, see, this is what I mean. Like, I have to run up right at the guy. I almost got the kill anyway. Even after that. See, the smoke is a little further back. That frag sucks. Bad place for the frag. I don't know where to go. I'm looking for people, but it's like, where do I even go? I get lucky, but it's like you see, like, this is just pure luck. I'm looking to see where people are. It's pure luck that I don't get shot in the back doing this. But you can see I don't follow that guy. The reason I don't follow that guy is because, once again, this is a very populated lane. I would have to run for an extensive period of time to chase that guy down. There would be so much time for an enemy to just pop up here and shoot me in the back, right? So instead, I wrap around here and follow this guy because there's a lot more cover. I can kill him quickly. I can kill him here. And then I could just go inside, you know? So I have more options. It's really about analyzing options and predicting where the enemies are moving when you're going knife only. See, I duck in here. And I go back because, like, I don't have any options there. Being in the house gives me a lot more options. So I go inside here. And this kind of sucks, though, because there's not really a good place to wait where you can ambush someone, where you're not just going to get, like, slice of pie, you know? So it's like, okay, up here is good, because this, I'm hidden from the doorways, and I can ambush people relatively quickly. So I wait here for a second. I smoke here, and then wait here, because like I said, I mean, look, this proves my point. Look how hard it is to see. You see how hard it is to see in there, in a dark area, in the middle of the smoke? It's like impossible. You're not making stuff like, name one object right now. Name one object on screen right now. And don't say garage. That's cheating. And so, you know, I follow around out here because I thought there might be someone there, but whatever. I can just retreat back to the garage. And the smoke runs out, which kind of sucks, but, you know. I move up, like I'm just looking for opportunities. I think I kind of animation canceled that by falling down. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I did. That's cool. I missed. And a slow-ass climb, but I still got the kill. Just Molotov my teammate. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go prone here. Like, I don't have any options to approach because, you know, they're going to be waiting for my team here, so they're going to be, like, they're going to be waiting and watching for my team. I'm worried that as my team starts shooting, people over here are going to be looking this way, so it's like they might just quickly turn and shoot me if I run by. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go prone and wait for someone to approach. And it happens. But another guy shows up, and I mean, that's just what happens going knife only. Like, you need perfect calculations to go knife only without dying a bunch. Or a bad enemy team, like a not good enemy team. Like, I think one of the main things about knife only is you want to find the perfect opening to cross, like I just did there, and then you want to wreak havoc as an infiltrator. You know, you want to just confuse people, and people react slowly because the knife doesn't make a lot of noise. That's one of the only, like, main benefits of the knife, besides instant kills, is it doesn't make a lot of noise. So people don't react quickly if you catch them during a confusing moment, you know, especially in solo queue. I mean, if you're playing like against a coordinated team, knife only is not possible. It's just not possible. You're not doing anything because a coordinated team, if a coordinated team, if one mediocre player decides to sit back and wait for me, I'm screwed. If an entire team knows I'm going knife only and is coordinated and talking, and they decide to sit back and wait for me, I'm not getting a single kill, right? But in solo queue, when you're just playing with randoms or just playing with people who aren't good at communicating, you can make use of the confusion. I missed. Aw, that's sad. It's sad to miss like that, because I did break that guy's ankles. He shot me once, and he assumed I was going that way, and then he was confused when I didn't show up. But, you know, I missed the knife. The critical knife. There is a satisfaction in the purity of knife only, where you really are forced to play well. And I get napalmed. Another, like, this thing on Nuketown is, like, this is why Nuketown becomes so defensive, right? It's something you realize as you play Cold Wars. Nuketown is ultra defensive because explosive spam and streak spam and people just watching sightlines means the best strategy is to hold down the house. Like, the teams just hold down their own houses, you know, and watch the bottlenecks, and it makes it very hard to approach. And you can see I'm making use of being able to smoke. Being able to smoke outside can be very useful because you can even get around trophy systems. And I'm waiting in here in an area that's kind of hard to see. I'm not sure exactly why that guy did that, why he stopped firing. Maybe he didn't even see me. Maybe he was struggling to see me in there. Very weird thing for him to do. I'm seeing... God, you see the weapons on the ground? Those are horrifying things to see on the ground, dude. That's terrifying. You see, you see a crossbow, and then you see an ironhide. Another crossbow, and then an ironhide. That's terrifying, dude. That's hell. That's not what you want to see going knife only. Just 3 one-shot kill weapons in the middle of a house. You know, where someone's just sitting down, like, aiming down sight, watching down the stairs. And my teammate gets a knife kill, which is cool. We're kindred spirits, you and I. This is a nice place to hide. So. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the enemy team even is, and I get killed by another napalm strike. And, like, I'm trying to figure out the spawns here. I'm like, are they still spawning here? I'm gonna smoke here. I'm gonna assume they're spawning here. I'm gonna smoke here. But they're not spawning here at all. So it's like, okay. And then you can see me aim the napalm in the middle of the smoke. Which looks kind of funny for some reason. Just this, like, detached screen. And I just napalm the middle of the map. Now, it's worth mentioning napalm doesn't really function correctly. It doesn't actually go where you say it goes all the time. On some maps like Diesel, it goes completely differently to where it points at. The problem is napalm is actually programmed to dynamically fall to the map. Like the planes fly down at a specific height, at different heights per map, and they just dynamically drop the physics objects that are the bombs, which means the bombs drop differently relative to where the icon shows they drop on the screen on every single map, which makes napalm really inconsistent and difficult to use. It's actually one of the most difficult things to use. Now, I was going to stop using napalm, but I think there might be a use of it for disguising sounds. Like if you want to mantle up somewhere and flank the enemy, they could hear you mantle, but maybe that's when you use napalm to like bomb them, and the high-pitched squealing of the bombs dropping combined with the explosions might really mask you mantling, you know. But that's really, like, besides that, napalm has potential, but it's extremely hard to use because you need to memorize exactly how it functions on every map, and you have to account for so many variables. It's very difficult to use. Like, I think my bombs dropped a lot further ahead. Because I put the bombs to drop here, but I think they dropped here. And I think that's why it missed the, like, three enemies that were like over here. And that's what I mean about napalm. It's, it can be kind of annoying to use. I think we're almost done with this match. And smoke here, but, like, once again, people are just spamming explosives on Nuketown. I'm not saying this as an insult to them. I'm saying this as, like, a reality. This is why it's hard. Like, you can't even wait for the enemy to approach because they're just going to spam explosives. Now, I could put on Flak Jacket. That is an option. I just like the perks I'm using. Engineer is very helpful for knowing when field mics are around when you're using when you're not using spycraft. Forward intel is just useful in general for gaining information. I wonder if it's annoying to... I bet it's annoying to die like that. You know? Just some guy randomly pops around the corner with a knife and slits your throat instantly. You gotta be like, dude, what the hell just happened? How did they get that close? Like, I appeared out of nowhere to them. Also, was that guy shooting my body? I never even noticed that. I plan to make another video. I did do some knife only on Black Ops 6 a little bit after this. Bro, people were shooting bodies. They did not like the knife. People got so mad about the knife on Black Ops 6. No one was shooting bodies for me going knife only on this, though. I don't think it really happened, like, once. It probably did once, because there's always someone. Yeah, that kind of looked like he was shooting my body. Maybe he just didn't realize I was dead. Some guy just walks into my Molotov and dies. So, I tried to approach this guy, and I was hoping I could find some way to finagle this, but, like, I did not realize that was so far back. I did not realize the cubby was so far back. It's basically impossible to approach with a knife, you know, because I can only come from one direction. So, yeah. It's kind of screwed. There was another guy there shooting at me, too, but I'm trying not to just sit in the back the whole time. Also, I never noticed those skulls hanging from the tree or whatever there. Or hey... Yeah, I didn't notice those skulls hanging. That's kind of ominous. Match is almost over at this point. And this is... I pull out the SMG. It's like, what am I going to do here? I try and shoot him through the wall. Once again, smoking the inside from outside. And you can see... my plan here was that if he ran through there and came toward me, he wouldn't be able to see me because it'd be so dark and the smoke would blind him, and I could just run up quickly and knife him when he wouldn't be able to see me. But he died anyway. I mean, it helped, I think. So, see, like that. Like that right there. You see how the guy didn't see me? Can I do slow motion from here? Okay, there is an option, but I doubt, I don't want to push it. I don't want to test it. But you see, like, this guy runs through here, he doesn't see me. It doesn't seem so. I don't know. He might, but either way, it's harder for people to track you. I hope that's not too loud in the recording. And it sucks that I missed that knife, because if I got the knife on that guy, on the right there, I could have got the knife on the other guy really quickly if I was fast enough too. But it happens, you know. This was one of my first games going knife only, so I was still getting used to the knife swing speed and all that. It's so hard to even get anywhere because people are just spamming. Like, you got spawns in weird places, you get explosives being spammed. It's tough, you know. I climb up here quickly because I got a lucky spawn behind enemy lines, and I want to climb up while I have the chance. Game's about to end anyway, but I want it. Like, this is a good spot because the enemy team isn't really gonna. If someone comes up here, they're probably gonna come up here alone. Most of the team is gonna be downstairs, and also after I kill the guy who might or might not come up here, I'll be able to look over the enemy team and see where everyone is. So this is a really good location because people don't expect you to be up here if you're playing stealthy. They expect you to be doing something more active. So this is a very stealthy location, like a very, it's like a psychological blind spot. They don't think you would be, like, they would never think I'm up here doing this right now, ever, in their lifetime, right? So it's a very stealthy spot in that way, and it also gives me a lot of information and a lot of options to work with. So that's why I immediately go up here. It's a great spot for that. But I see that, like, a lot of the enemy is already out, and my teammate's watching there, so he can see if someone's coming up the stairs, and there's probably no one coming up the stairs. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push. And I find someone down here, get the knife. I try to smoke where the guy is sitting back behind the fallout shelter, but I forgot the trophy system. And so it's like, okay, and so it's like all I could do was challenge him with the SMG at that point.
I was shooting at him and it was like,
let's hear the guy's commentary.
oh yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This was not this was not Christmas. I'm doing this on New Year's. The fireworks are playing right now. This was not Christmas. That was a week before Christmas.
Shred. You definitely did not shred, bud.
Merry Christmas, Kent.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Watches.
Once again, it was not Christmas. Okay. So that's the Nuketown game. Don't save. I'm going to change recordings real quick, just to be sure I don't lose this. All right, I think it's going well. Let us look at the zoo match next, huh? Okay, surely you can't call this the piss map too, right? I was trying to color code them, and I'm like, what shade of yellow-orange can I pick that perfectly will not get someone to say that? Like, this is orange enough, right? Like, if you need to see a doctor if this qualifies, right? But looking at zoo, come on, man, that's gold, okay? It should not be gold. You should go to the doctor if it's gold, right? Let's look at zoo. I don't remember everything that happens in this match. Or pretty much anything. And once again, it's like, I can't really approach because this is the wrong... I can't really approach. Because this is just like a long sight line. You're really going to make me select everything again. This is just like a pretty long sight line where people could just be watching. Even if I go this way, I could be seen from the crossover here, especially if someone is upstairs here. It's really not a good prospect. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. Unfortunately, the spot I pick is the spot where half of the rest of my team picks. So, yeah, not really. I mean, it's kind of a human centipede going on there. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, man. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Go somewhere else, because you really don't want to be next to your team. This kind of situation. And I'm like, what the hell are you? I'm in disbelief when this happens. We have the human centipede watching this lane, and some guy with a Tech 9 still gets through. What's going on? It looks like everyone looks away at the perfectly wrong time is what happened. Like, he must have come through right when my teammate looked away. I see the shadow, and I'm like, is that a teammate? Like, you can see me do a double take, because I see the shadow. I see the shadow, and I'm like, is that my teammate's shadow? But I juke him out, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I don't know where to go here, though, because, like, going out in the open there is not going to be a good prospect, because for the obvious reason. Running out into the middle of the map with no cover, with a weapon with a range of 1 meter is not going to be good for me, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out a strategy for somewhere else to go. And I basically need to predict where the enemy is, but you know... Oh yeah, this guy teabags me. I forgot about this. I'm like, okay, I need to find somewhere else to go, but nowhere's good. And this guy, it's funny that he kills me with a ballistic knife and teabags me. It's like, yeah, dude, you have a projectile. You know, we're not on the same level here. Like, it's not the same level. I don't know, like, how sometimes you just, you really need to learn to not trust your team, but sometimes you need to relearn that. Because you're like, okay, you think you know not to trust your team, and then you realize you've been trusting your team too much, and you're like I'm like, surely the guy up there is watching something, right? Surely, like, my team has been watching something. I don't know. I guess I should have known, because if we look at the map, right? That's a bad... Do it again. If we look at the map, right? And see what information we can glean from this. Most of my team is only watching the one lane, right? One of my teammates has infiltrated, probably by going up there, right? Oh, we still have the big pink. It saved it. Probably by going across. He probably climbed up the ladder and went across here, right? So, no, there aren't any enemies that are obviously around here. There aren't any enemies over here, right? And I would probably hear someone or see someone if they were running around here, because they would probably run through here, right? Which means the enemy can only really be around here. The only place the enemy can really be is, like, around here. Or, like, hiding in the back of spawn where we can't see. So, in fairness, I probably should have predicted this. But this is one of those cases where I'm kind of, like, discombobulated, because I don't know what the hell my team is doing. And he shows up and just shoots me because, you know, he has a ranged weapon. And now I'm like, okay, so there was someone hiding in the back of their team there. And I'm like, okay, how do I approach here? This is not great. In fact, I just saw him there for a frame, but I don't think he sees me. I'm like, okay, I'll smoke it. Someone is not playing. And what I do here, this is a little bit of a cheeky strategy, is I wait here. I assume that if an enemy shows up, they won't register me very quickly, because they'll see their teammate with the blue thing above his head. That can actually keep people from registering you quickly. And I'm like, okay, I'll follow him for a second. I didn't even realize this was the guy that teabagged me, by the way. No, wait, no, it's not. There are 2 secret weapons. Never mind. This is only 42, not 43. And my entire team... My entire team shows up here, and runs in a single line procession down the same lane. And I try to poke out and kill him, but not quite fast enough. Like, I don't even know what to do. It's just, very weird spawns, very weird areas. Sometimes I get such a weird setup that I don't even know what to work with, and I'm just confused for several minutes trying to figure out... Like, I'm struggling to even get a grasp on the game at all. Okay, I gotta admit, the name Zombie Kitty with this outfit is so Y2K core. I don't know, something about that. Like, having the name Zombie Kitty using, like, this kind of outfit is so Y2K core. Is that the weed outfit? I didn't even realize that. That actually ruins it for me. Never mind. Like, I pull off a good juke there. That's a hell of a good juke. And honestly, using smoke grenades is kind of like using cloak for spy in TF2. You can pull off some crazy jukes. So I do this, I run this way, he thinks I'm going that way, and I slide back. And he actually does track correctly and shoot in that way, but he somehow misses me. To be fair, I guess it wasn't really that it was a good juke for me, it's just that he somehow missed. But then I come back around like a specter. I survive the impossible situation, and then I come back around right behind him like a specter and kill him, which I bet was really annoying to him. It seems like he also went prone there. A very weird interaction. I actually am starting to love smoke grenades because it creates these really weird interactions. It looks like what happened was he overcorrected, it looks like. And he went too far when he tried to shoot me. But and then he ran, oh, is that him running around there? So he ran around the fountain. Okay. And then he went prone, or did he slide? I don't know. And then I show up right behind him. There's a few fun smoke shenanigans. Yeah, I look down at him. Also, killing someone with a knife is really satisfying in this game. It feels good. It feels satisfying viscerally. And, like, there's a real animation to it. It does feel very good. There's a lot less weight to it in Black Ops 6. I'm not saying Black Ops 6 is worse, but there is a lot less weight to it. It feels like very heavy when you knife someone in this game. There's a lot of weight to it. And, like, I'm kind of stuck here because, like, here's me here. I'm right here, right? If I try and, like, running here obviously is stupid. It's not really going to get me anything. Unless I know that the enemy isn't going to be there, which I can't really know, right? Running here kind of sucks because I could just get sniped from someone who is, like, sitting up here or something, or who happens to be down here. I could run back, but then I'd have to navigate, like, from here. It's like, from here, where do I even go? You know, it's like, where the hell do I even go? Which is kind of the difficulty of knife only in general. Is, like, where the hell do you even go? Because figuring out how to navigate the map correctly is a big challenge. So I'm like, okay, I smoke the middle of the map, and then I just go forward, and I wait here. Because I see the enemy there, I wait until my team starts fighting them a bit, so they're distracted. I can see a guy there, I see another guy, I'm like, okay, I'll follow. I don't know what the hell he was doing, he was just killing himself. Secret Weapon 42. Secret Weapon 42, it does not seem very beneficial to whatever government is making use of this secret weapon. Must have been a failed experiment. I smoke in the middle here, but, like, I can't... and then, so here's one thing. You can smoke and then, you know, pick up from the resupply box and smoke again. Okay, so I stopped the recording, like, a few days ago because, you know, stuff came up. But we're back. I'm going to try to continue talking about this. And as I mentioned before, you can see that the resupply box is really interesting when it comes to Cold War because it's really weird because there are some good uses for it, but you can't always rely on it because it's in a very specific spot, and it's also not on every map for some reason. I don't know why they didn't put one on Nuketown or something, but, like, some maps just don't have the resupply box. I don't think Armada Strike has one either. I don't think... Well, Crossroads Strike has two. Honestly, it would be cool if Nuketown had them. But yeah, So you can do some strategies. You could do some crazy, like you could technically throw 4 grenades really fast if you had danger close and a resupply box. But this is one of the few situations where I'm in a good position to just double smoke it. So I'm like, why not? You know, make it in here. I can see some guy up there, and I'm like, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe maybe I thought I would throw a grenade or something. I don't know. I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe I was looking to see if his barrel was poking out of the window to see if he's distracted. But I'm just giving it some time because, like I said, you don't want to commit to the wrong time. I don't know what I'm waiting for here. But oh yeah, and that's just what happens with melee. It really sucks. It sucks because I love meleeing in Call of Duty. Like, using melee is so much fun in Call of Duty. But there are just some issues with it. It's really annoying to die like this. Like, it steals your camera. When you melee like that, I don't know if you can tell, but it forces your camera to them so you don't have any control. So if it's missing, if my melee is missing them, it's not my fault because I literally, the second I hit the button, I lose control of the camera. It's sad. It is sad that this issue still exists. I'm not sure why it's so hard for them to figure out melee in Call of Duty. Because it's been like this since COD 4. COD 4 had some of this crap. Like what, 14 years before this game came out? And it sucks because melee, like, knife is really fun in this game. So it sucks that there is that kind of fatal flaw of, like, yeah, sometimes it's very rarely, it's just not going to work. And, yeah. One of the problems with my current build is, no spycraft and no tac mask, so gas mines kind of suck. I'm waiting for this to end. I'm like, dude, when does this end? How long is this? It's still going? It's still going? I did not know gas mine lasted this long. I've never actually tried to outlast a gas mine. Christ, does that last forever. I was not aware. So, yeah, I guess I just go around from now on, because that's like 25 seconds straight. In fact, we can time it. Oops. I actually went back to the beginning of the video. The hell am I? Now I lost myself. Oh, here we go. I'm here. I was too far ahead. God, I talk so much, dude. We're barely into this game. Yeah, so it starts at 8:4. We're at 8:49. Let's see when I die. 9:03. So that's at least 15 seconds. So the gas mine is at least 15 seconds. It looks like it's exactly 15 seconds, I think. That would be my guess. So yeah, that's a pretty long time. So actually, gas mine lasts exactly as long as smoke grenade then, it seems. Because smoke grenade is 15 seconds too. Which is actually a fun fact. One of what's something I think about when it comes to, you know, like potential like high level coordinated 6-man team play. If you and a teammate both have quartermaster on, you can rotate smoke grenades between yourself to have an area smoked 24/7 all the time. I'm having one of those brain days again where it's hard for me to talk, like weird brain days. But like, yeah, you can have an area smoked the entire game if you don't die, because a smoke grenade lasts 15 seconds and quartermaster regenerates a piece of equipment every 25 seconds. So as long as you're rotating between the two of you, you can have it always smoked up. Which I think could become pretty fun when it comes to high-level play, because I feel like smoke grenades are going to play a big role when it comes to, like, coordinated 6 versus 6. You know, basically kind of like competitive, but actually not 90% of the game is banned. That's what kind of COD I want to play, although not as serious. You know, obviously having some fun with it. And yeah, this is just what happens. You know, if you don't know where someone is and you're trying to go knife only, you run into them, you're just dead. You know, you have to very much know where people are. And like okay, so he died up there, and you can see this is what I'm talking about earlier. I smoked down here, and even though the smoke isn't going to be completely like the JPEGs of the smoke aren't going to be blinding him up there, the effect will. He'll be within the smoke effect. So if he's standing up there, he'll see a little bit of the smoke JPEGs coming up through the ground. But if he stands right above the smoke grenade, he will get the full gray screen. So that's how you can kind of obscure people's vision even without the smoke JPEGs themselves. Assuming it's JPEGs. And, you know, I'm used to moving around to stay under Ghost. Right now, like, looking at where everyone is, like, obviously my team is mostly occupying this side of the map. This is where I am. God, it's so hard to see. I'm gonna have to outline that more, because that's so hard to see. Like, this is where I am, right? Right there. That's actually not a good blue. That's one of those blues that blends in a lot. Let's do purple. I am right here, right? And my team is all around here, right? So that means this area is safe, and that means I expect that enemies will be coming from around here, you know? Because typically, you should expect at least one enemy coming from each area. Enemies will try to either directly confront your team, or they will try and flank around where your team is. So I'm honestly both. You should really, one thing of COD is you should expect that there is one person down every lane at all times, you know? So I'm waiting to see exactly what's happening. I'm expecting the enemy might be coming behind me. And I mean, there's one, what I was talking about. There's some guy trying to flank. Although he is just booking it. He must have just jumped down immediately. But yeah, see, I was actually right. The entire team is, like, flanking, because there was a guy up here that I missed on the right. I'm trying to chase this guy down, but... yeah. He has a shotgun, and he heard me mantle, and it's, like, it's just screwed. So now I have to figure out how to flank around, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this exactly? You don't want, like... Yeah, I was like, surely that guy saw me breaking the glass, but it looks like he didn't. So, whatever. And, yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't want to... The thing is, I don't want to sacrifice my position right here. The reason I do this... And like I said, I'm trying to go mostly knife, but sometimes it's like, dude, there's too much opportunity. The reason I do this is because I am in a relatively good spot right now. I had to set my map up again. I am in a good spot right now. Because I... am right here, right? That is extremely thin. Forgot to set up my thing again. I am right here, right? Jesus, dude. I'm actually more like right here right now. Right? If I run all the way out here, I'll have to run all the way back. And that's a lot. Like, well, first of all, I'll have to chase him down all the way over here, and he may continue running. And if he continues running, I might have to run all the way over here. And then I'll have to turn around and go all the way back, which is just, it's a lot of wasted time, and it's a lot of risk. Because then, you know, in the time like, I'll have to run all the way there without getting shot in the back myself, and then I'll have to run back and hope none of the enemy is here. So while I'm in this spot, I'm relatively sequestered. I can't be seen by, the only place I can be seen from, right? Like, I'm here. The only place I can really be seen from is around here, you know? And the enemy team seems to be around this area. So it's like, okay, I am relatively safe right now. I can kill this guy, and then I can go back and stay hidden, right? So, yeah. If you're trying to go full knife only, you just probably let this guy go, because you don't want to give up your opportunity to kill a whole bunch of people in their spawn. But I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to kill him. Also, he did turn to look at me the last second. And now I got to figure out how to approach the enemy. And I just decided to go here, which is very bold of me. Yeah. I never remember that people teabag. It's weird. It's, I don't know, man. And I think I'm getting a little bit frustrated with how difficult this is. My team has been no help whatsoever. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to shoot some people. God, I shouldn't have waited so long before coming back to this, because I don't remember this game very much at all now. Can't shoot. You're carried by aim assist. You know, I can't shoot stuff without aim assist. It's just how it goes. There are some weird angles you can get on people up there from down here, but yeah, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go back to the knife. God damn you. God damn you, I'll go back to the knife if I really have to. That guy must have had an engineer on. Okay, so, yeah. When it comes to this RCXD, this guy must have had engineer on because he shot it as soon as it came out. Like, that's him there. So yeah, must have engineer on. That guy's just blind. That guy's not paying attention. And like I said, I know this is a dark area, so if they run through the smoke, they're going to be blinded for a second. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait here. Or I guess I'm going to progress. I know this guy's just waiting out here, so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to kill him, you know. Like, this is one of those things where, like, if they're just going to sit, like, if that guy's going to sit back with an M16, I really do want to commit more to knife only. This is, like, part of the thing is, like, I'm trying to complete challenges for the knife, and it's like, dude, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to go 0-15 stubbornly committing to the knife, you know. I'm trying to, get some kills with it, so... That guy going knife only, too. Yeah. There are games that I do commit more to knife only, but I'm also, like, you know, sometimes I just want to kill people. But one of the main problems with going knife only, and the reason I'm avoiding using knife only, it's not only that it's hard to approach the enemy, it's that you put yourself... Okay, this is going to be a funny little interaction. When you go knife only, you have to displace yourself every time you get a kill. If some guy's out in the open and you want to kill him, you have to run out in the open too. That's the problem. First of all, it takes a long time. You spend a long time just running to people. And it also puts you in a really bad spot, and it makes you lose options. You know, when you run out into the open to go knife some guy, you lose a bunch of options, and that's kind of why it's so difficult. You know, and that's why maybe the best strategy is just to go kill people in enclosed areas where you always have a lot of options, and ignore people who are running away from you because, like, it's not worth it. You know, so yeah, I'm hiding here from the napalm. This guy, I throw a smoke right when this guy sees me, and this is funny. He runs in and just knifes the wall. I can hear it. He knifes the wall. So I pulled off a little spy cloak trick. He assumed I didn't even mean to do this. I didn't think he would assume I was still there, but he did. So must have been a kind of crazy thing for him to see. And we have a teammate who was just watching our spawn where our team was. And you can see I'm smoking these entranceways that they might run through, so that if they run through, I'll be able to see them and just knife them. Like that, you know? Like one good way to use smokes is you throw it at a doorway, and someone's probably going to run through, and you just knife them. Because it's like, most Call of Duty players do not have the patience to wait out a smoke. And if they run through, they're going to have trouble seeing stuff. They're going to be disoriented, and they're going to get somewhat anxious, probably. Or if they're not getting anxious, they're probably kind of arrogant. In either case, they're not taking things. They're not, like, really focused as much as they should be. Is that a field mic there? Yeah, there's a field mic there. Like, you really do have to pick the perfect openings, and I was not picking the perfect openings this game. My team did start doing better, though. They're not doing quite as bad. Like, proportionally, we were like, they had 2 kills for every one of our kills, but my team kind of picked it up a little bit. So credit to them for picking it up, at least.
Hostile attack helicopter inbound. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Like, I guess I kind of gave up on this game because, like, the enemy team's sitting in places, you know, it's, I'm like, I don't even know how to approach anymore. And that's fine. Like, we learn, you know. You have games where you don't do as well, and then you learn. And now we have Crossroads Strike as the final map. So it's white, okay? Surely there's nothing you could say about a white map, right? Surely you have no funny remarks for a white map. I've actually really grown fond of Crossroads Strike. I didn't used to like it, but I actually like it as one of the small maps now. So let us see. I chose this one as one I did better. Although, like I said, it's hard for me to even post the games when I do well going knife only, because it's like, it doesn't really, like, what can I even talk about when it's just me knifing people who aren't paying attention? And by the way, what I've done with my SMG is I just have like maximum sprint speed, so that's why I'm holding it out for so long, because I sprint faster with that SMG out. And I also have a flashlight on it, so it will show like equipment and stuff for me. And a guy with a baseball bat. It's kind of crazy how I found so many people going melee while doing this, because I don't feel like it's that common. And you can see we're already, like, things are not looking well. Somehow spawns have entirely flipped. I don't know how this has happened, but you can see on the map, I am completely isolated. There is no teammate within a mile of me, which is not a good start. Like, that's me there, right? That's me there. And here's the entire rest of my team. So I'm like, I don't even know where to go, because I'm expecting the enemy team is going to try and clear out the spawn because they don't realize everyone is gone. So if I try and run forward and someone runs out and shoots me, I'm screwed. And I'm like, I guess I'll just wait a second and see if they approach. But it's also not good, because like, if they're clearing spawn and they go around there, like, they can see me from a bunch of angles. So I'm like, I don't even know, dude. Like, this is one of those things where, like, when your team doesn't have any structure, when your team just folds or completely dies, or they just all mindlessly run forward without creating positions, it hits you with I don't even know what to do. Like, if my team has no structure, I don't know what the enemy team is doing, because I can't use my team to see what the enemy team is doing. So I'm like, let me just take a moment, try and figure it out, and then I decide, okay, let me run forward. It looks like my team is distracting them, so they're probably not looking at me. And see, there's a guy here, but and then get the baseball bat guy there. Yeah, so that guy was actually looking at spawn. Like, see, the enemy team doesn't even seem to know what they're doing exactly, because my entire team, except for me, is spawning in the corner. I mean, look at that, dude. Look at what's going on there, brother. Look at my team right now. Do you see this? So, like, the fact that he's not aware that my entire team is in one corner, like, I doubt he's looking for the one singular person, right? So this is kind of the problem, is you have to think about what the enemy knows too, right? Because you would hope that the enemy is looking at your team here, so you can flank them. But if the enemy team doesn't know what's going on, then you have people just looking out like that. Get a good slide knife kill. Baseball guy comes up behind me. And he's mad about dying. he must be using ninja too, because I didn't hear him. Is that him? Was he in the corner there? I didn't even see him if he was. No, that's my body, I think. So he must have run in, or he's in the corner right behind me right now. Oh, I think that's him. I think I saw him swing once. Yeah, he swung a few times. Stuns. And it's like, I mean, honestly, I should not have even lived so long, so I'm like, whatever. 3 kills, not bad, you know? And now we got another weird spawn where, like, now we're spawning here, but the enemy team is still here. Yeah, my teammate actually got that kill. Good. And so now spawns have flipped again. So I'm like, okay, what do I do exactly? I guess I have to approach, because I have to get close, right? So let's try and figure out... Let's wait here a second. I love waiting there. This is a good place to wait. And it's just time to go in, you know? I gotta admit, this baseball bat guy did not have a good game against me. he got like the first kill, but he did not have a good game against me. Oh yeah, this entire sequence is just like... This is what I'm talking about. Like, when you're playing against a team who's not aware, it's like, this guy is already way out of position, because my entire team is here. This is a very dangerous thing to do, and you can get away with it if the team sucks, but like, almost my entire team is centered around this guy, and he's backing up. If you're gonna approach a team like this, at least you should be aggressive and stay near walls, so you limit how much time you're exposed to any potential sight lines. But he's just backing up right out into the open. So you got this guy. Baseball bat guy just doesn't react fast enough. This guy is I don't even know. And this guy reloads at a perfectly wrong time. And there were just 4 kills like that. That should not happen. Uh, so now, honestly, I don't even know where the team is. I'm assuming at this point, like, that they are spawning here. Because this is really the only place they could be spawning. Or spawns have flipped and they're spawning back here, right? But I expect there's probably a few people loitering around this area. There's probably like 1 or 2 people around here. Maybe some guy on the bridge right now. That's just my guess. And, I mean, there's one guy there, you know. Baseball bat guy. And we have a little standoff. He throws something, which I think was C4. And then he throws something else, which I have no idea what it was, but it hits me in the face. Okay, I guess the C4 was what he threw second. I don't know what he threw first. I'm honestly kind of confused about it. Oops. Yeah, I don't know what the hell he threw first. But then he threw something else that hit me in the... yeah, I could see it. He threw C4 second. I don't know what he threw first. But, I mean, it's just a little knife standoff, you know. I basically, what I do is I wait and play, you know, play dumb. Like, play kind of slow. And then I go in for a quick slide. And, he would have had me if he didn't throw the C4. Bad timing. And, yeah, the enemy team was spawning where I thought. And it's like, this is a bad place to be. I'm like, you know what? Napalm. You know, you deserve the napalm if you're going to be like that. Because it's a really hard thing to approach. I wait for the napalm to drop, and then I immediately go in when they're dead or distracted. Oh, and this is a really annoying way to die. I hate dying like this, where it's like, oh, I can't climb on this? Aw. Like, I tried to climb on that rock like 2 different times, and it's just like, okay, you can't climb on that rock. Okay. Alright, fine. I hate dying like that. It's really annoying, but it's whatever. You know, I'm doing okay. And my team is in a really weird spot. They don't seem to be doing too well. They're actually... I didn't realize we're losing, even after I'm going 13-3 right now. So I'm up plus 10, which means my team is... you know, is minus 12 right now, if I'm up plus 10, something like that, right? Well, that's not taking into account eliminations. I guess eliminations kind of confuse that. Eliminations do kind of suck as a concept sometimes. I don't know what the hell that guy just said. Good old slide knifing, though. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone back, because there was another guy going the other way. This is one of those challenging situations where it's like multiple people are closing in on me, and I'm hurt. Right? Like this, I'm lucky that guy didn't see me. But I killed him because, like I said, the problem with knife is that you have to displace yourself so much. I would have to run all the way over there and knife him. And when I did that, the guy who just shot at me would come up behind me and shoot me in the back. So it's like, it's either shoot him or leave the room or something. And if I wanted to stay knife only, maybe I should have left the room or something. It's kind of just a bad spot to be in, knife only. Like, you're kind of just screwed. If that guy had any kind of awareness, I would have been completely screwed. Getting caught out at all is just a death sentence. I think I saw a guy there, right? No, I didn't. So there's no one there. I guess I went back on accident. And I go back to... This is the guy who was shooting at me. I just run up and knife him. He didn't expect it. Shouldn't have done this, but I heard enemies coming from the other direction, so I thought I would try and, you know, be sneaky and go around the side. And this is... I mean, enemies are going to be pouring in here, so this is kind of a bad call for me. I should have gone back. And I just get shot down. Oh, I died to the grenade, actually. All right, good grenade. Good grenade. Fair enough. They cooked it. And see, this is just like... This is a bad spawn, and... when you get caught out like that, knife only, you're just dead. Nothing you can do. You have to not get caught out going knife only. That's the challenge. You cannot get caught in a bad spot ever. But I think the enemy's going to be coming this way. And I wait here. I might be waiting for them. I might be waiting to try and use the resupply box to throw a stun real quick and then grab another stun. Oh, yeah. So that guy, I think, had a knife out. Is that what I saw? So here's something I learned the hard way myself. right? I think he was using knife. Yeah, something I learned the hard way myself. While you are stunned, at the very least, when you're under a gas grenade... Yeah, he does have knife. When you're under a gas grenade, you cannot melee. Your knife becomes useless. And I'm pretty sure when you're stunned, it's the same thing. So... Is that the same guy? It was. Okay, so he spawned right behind me there. And I don't know how he spawned so close. That dude spawned right on top of me, but he did not have a fast enough reaction time. I think I heard his footsteps. I heard him slide there. I don't know why people try to go knife for knife with me so much. It really, like, are there that many people just going knife only? Because it really feels like people start trying to go band for band with me. Is that how you say it? Probably shouldn't be saying things that I don't know the meaning of, really. Yeah. If the slide was faster, you could do something like that. But it is not. That was just death. And see, like, already you can... This is the problem with knife. You have to displace yourself. So I have to run out here into what is a pretty bad spot. And then I have to run back. That's the difficulty. Honestly, the strategy is probably just to ignore people like that a lot of the time. Because it's such a time loss. It's a risk and it's a time loss, you know? But I can afford to not be playing optimally because the enemy team is not the greatest. You know, so I can just do what I want, kind of. See, I don't want to displace myself, so I'm like, whatever, I'll just shoot him. I was going to climb up here, and I did, but it's like, I realized it probably isn't the best thing, because they're probably going to be coming right back. And I'm like, okay, the other guy's going to be coming back to where I was. The guy I shot is going to come back for me. I don't want to be caught there, so I run this way, and there's just someone in the corner. It's a bad spot to be in, you know? There's a way to do this, I think. Like, I think you can be somewhat successful going knife only, but you have to make perfect decisions. You have to be in the right place at the right time all the time. It's really challenging, but I think you can do it. Like, you have to really analyze the map and think about, like, how to use it. And the knife missed, which sucks. I think I swung a little bit too early. I swung, yeah, so I swung... And it didn't do the lock-on because I was sliding. When you're sliding, it doesn't do the lunge and the lock-on. And I just missed. So, that's how it is. It can be pretty challenging. One of the general rules of first-person shooters is that the closer you are to the enemy, the faster you have to move your aim. Because, you know, proportionally, the closer you are, the faster they're moving relative to you. Relative to your vision. So, you have to be really fast in situations like that. I don't know why that guy was looking towards me already. It's kind of sad, because that could have been a good place. This is why it's best to engage with people in an enclosed space, is because, like... If you look at the map here, like, this is where the enemy team was, right? The enemy team was here. The enemy team was here. And they were all looking this way, right? That's a terrible place to put the arrow. They were all looking... this way or kind of this way, you know? So, you ask yourself, if you want to knife 3 people there, where do you go? If I'm here, if I am currently here, where do I go to get to the 3 or 4 people here, right? And one strategy is to wait for the perfect time and just run in. Just, if you time it right, you just run in and get a bunch of kills, right? That's the idea. But that requires that someone is not looking at you, or maybe use a smoke grenade or something, right? The other option is to flank them, but flanking them means going this way, which is a terrible idea, because if one enemy is sitting on, like, this piece of cover here and just watching, right, then I'm screwed. Instantly dead. Nothing I can do, right? Or you go around this way. That's not the right route. You go around this way, and you hit the flank. Not like that's going to take, you know, a full minute. So, it's a challenging situation to be in. The best strategy might be to throw a smoke grenade here. A little bit too big. Best strategy might be to throw a smoke grenade here, and then just go around here. That might be the best play. And just hope that the people over here, hope that the enemy is not looking at you. Hope that the enemy is not looking this way. You know? But it's really a gamble. It's hard. And like one of the problems here is you can't peek. Well, I guess you could jump. You could jump and peek. I guess maybe. So I'm like, if I commit at the wrong time, I just get shot. And I keep myself moving, even when I miss the jump. And see, this is what I mean. Like, I jumped at the wrong time, already in a terrible spot. And I'm like, okay. Like, I have to keep... If they didn't have a spy plane up, I would just sit in the corner behind that box, I think. Because it would be unlikely that they would see me. But because I have to keep moving, it's like, I probably could have still avoided that guy, but it was a hard decision to make. God, and see, like, okay, so this is me trying to flank them. And like I said, I have to chase them because I'm going knife only. And I'm worried about someone on the cliffside looking at me. So what I do is I run over here. What? Oh, I must have clicked a little bit too low. Oops. Where was I at? Here we go. I'm worried about someone on the cliffside looking at me. So what I do is you can see me quickly flick my aim over and get behind the box so that I'm somewhat obscured. And so it'd be hard to shoot me. And then I run forward at them. It doesn't help that much, but I was hoping it would be a little bit of a help if someone started shooting at me. But I just got lucky that no one was looking this way. And this guy turns to look at me, but I must not have seen me. I don't know what the hell was going on with them. I saw someone else run in here, but I guess that's his dead body. I make sure that's our smoke grenade. Yeah, that was a bad spot to be in too. Like, you honestly, like, if you were playing against a good team, you do not go down this lane knife only. You are not allowed to use this lane unless of extreme circumstances. You can see that I get close to the guy, but he mantles up, and that's just game over for me. And there's someone there, so I'm like, I immediately hide from them. But this guy happens to have a hand cannon. And this is the guy that I knifed like 3 times when he was trying to knife me, so I'm surprised he has enough score. But I guess it doesn't take that much score to get 1 hand cannon. And I'm like, alright, they want to use that lane. I'm just going to napalm that lane, and I'll wait for them to run inside. And I just completely screw up that throw. And there's multiple of them in here. And some guy just sitting in the corner. And now we have what is a pretty annoying interaction. I'm like, okay, I'll RCXD this guy. Perfect. I hit the boost, and my teammate gets right in the frickin' way. Thanks, dude. And now, because I'm already boosting, I go too far and have the wrong angle. And so I end up behind the thing, and it's like, oh my god, teammate, dude. And so I just go in pre-firing, because I know he's there, and try to get the advantage, but I lost the kill. And that spot, like... I either shoot that guy... Well, I shoot that guy some, and I figure he's going to stay in cover. I'll just run. You know, it works. I throw a smoke grenade, but it bounces too much. And smoke grenades do not stun people for very long in this game. Smoke grenades are really just to... The way smoke grenades work in this game is they make you take your left hand off your weapon, which makes you stop aiming down sight. And, they do slow down your aim and movement a little bit, but not for very long. And so that guy was barely stunned. It barely did anything. I probably would have been better just running forward some and then stunning, or just not stunning at all. It's, stun grenades have a very different use in this game than in, like, classic COD. So, yeah. So I try again. I missed, but whatever. And I missed the first jump. I would have been fine if I had made that first jump, but, I bonk my head, unfortunately. And don't mantle fast enough, and so I get killed. Or I would have made it.
Hostile attack helicopter inbound.
I'm like, you know what? I know these guys aren't really a threat. I'm just gonna frickin' shoot them. You know, it's whatever. You know, it's not a threat at all. I calculated I'd survive with 2 health there. it really feels like you have to make a hard read on exactly where the enemy is not looking and just run down that lane, even if it's risky. And unfortunately, my team is in here at the same time, but whatever. And this guy falls for the classic. I don't know what was happening there. I don't even know what was happening there. Like, this is all kind of weird. I guess that guy... Maybe he knew I baited him, so he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna run away. I don't want to get knifed. I'm just gonna run. Maybe that's what he did. And then when I come out, I'm like, okay, maybe I can run fast enough to outrun the sentry gun, right? And maybe I would have, but there's also a guy just prone there. So, like, that's basically impossible for me to approach. I tried to Molotov the sentry, but I missed. Whatever. Now the enemy is behind us. They're somehow spawning behind us even in the middle of this. That is the one advantage of Proxy Mine. Proxy Mine kind of sucks because anyone can dodge it on reaction really easily. But at least it forces people to crouch or go prone. It forces them to stop sprinting. This guy, you do not need to go prone. All you need to do is crouch. Unless you're on like a raised area, all you need to do is crouch and you take 0 damage. So this guy dies because he goes prone to dodge it. And can't turn to face me. Yeah, you just need to crouch. Proxy Mine kind of sucks in this game. It's pretty bad. It's funny because I feel like they overcorrected in Cold War or in Black Ops 6 because in Black Ops 6 it's kind of insane. And there we have it. It's hard to even talk about too much that I did right because it's just I chose some decent times and the enemy wasn't paying attention. Like those first 2 kills, we got like someone who wasn't looking at me, someone using a melee weapon who didn't react fast enough. Neither of those kills were really that impressive. I just had a better reaction time there. This guy, I actually slide underneath his view, which I guess is why he didn't really see me. And then I was underneath this guy's view too, so you know, taking a kind of low route helped. And then I don't even know what happened to this guy. It was just lucky timing. I don't know. I guess they came from inside. Honestly, this is kind of a stupid challenge to begin with because, you know, the enemy likes, when the enemy is spawning on this side of the map, it likes to spawn them right over here. So, if the enemy team was spawning there, if the enemy team was spawning here and they just poked out and shot me, if they just poked out at all, they would just shoot me and kill me. So it's not really good to do this, but whatever. It works, you know? I could have had better... I did have better games than this, too. There were some where I went, like, 35-7 and stuff, but I thought these would be good games to talk about because it's about, you know, finding games where there's something interesting to talk about. And I've talked for quite a while, I think. But, I mean, it's fun. You know, I like talking about knife only. Or I wanted to talk about it because I enjoy doing it. And I was like, you know, let me just talk about it for a while. God, I love how Nuketown looks. It would be great if there were resupply boxes on this map, but maybe it would be a bit much. Maybe it would make the explosive spam worse, you know? So yeah, that's me talking about some knife only. Or knife only is kind of deceptive. Knife only and some MP5, you know? I do plan to do more of it, especially like once I get Dark Matter Ultra, I'll just do some Lawbreaker knife only crap and go true like knife only with some side movement, but knife only for the kills, you know. But I have to do ballistic knife, or I don't have to. I have to do a special weapon for Dark Matter. I don't want to do crossbow. I do kind of want to do the grenade launcher, the M79. That's a fun weapon too, but I kind of want to do a ballistic knife. So I'll be doing more of that. There's something, like, I did knife only a lot when this game first launched, or I did it a good amount, and it became really difficult, because once you're playing against good enemies, you need to be very, very, very smart to make it work. You need to pay a lot of attention to what's going on. But if you can manage it, it can feel very satisfying. I'm so lucky I didn't get shot in the back there, dude. That's so lucky to not get shot in the back there. He didn't even see me after I stood up. So it is fun to come back. I feel like I've gotten better in general at Call of Duty, or at least I've figured some things out. So it's fun to come back and try it again. Like it's fun to keep coming back to it after you learn more and more. And I do feel like I can make it kind of okay now. But it's never going to be amazing. It's a challenge, you know. It's a challenge run. It creates a sense of purity, a feeling of purity, just you and the knife, and an MP5 sometimes when you get too frustrated. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and good night.